I have been waiting for this moment to do this video. I just hit a big milestone. I just reached my 6th month on Etsy selling digital products, and today I am here to tell you how I became a millionaire working only 5 hours per week selling digital products. Just kidding, that is absolutely not what I'm here to do. Well, I am here to tell you about my first 6 months on Etsy, but I did not become a millionaire working 5 hours per week yet. But for real, today I'm going to show you all of the behind the scenes and the exact numbers of my Etsy shop. We're talking revenue, ads, listings, sales, and most importantly, profit from my first 6 months on Etsy. And if you are new here, hi, my name is Erica. I started this YouTube channel documenting my journey of building a hopefully successful Etsy shop selling digital products. I kept feeling like all of the videos on YouTube about selling digital products were on two ends of the spectrum. You have the people that are making hundreds of thousands of sales, that are wildly successful, sharing their success story, and then you have the people that are sharing their realistic story of Etsy, where they basically made no money and quit. And I feel like my Etsy story is a little bit more of a middle ground. I'm still in the beginning phases of building my shop, and I've 100% seen success, just not in a get-rich-quick kind of way. And honestly, Etsy is not a get-rich-quick kind of thing for the vast majority of people. So if you've been thinking about starting an Etsy shop, or maybe you've already started one and you're just wondering what is actually possible in those beginning phases, then this video is for you. First, I just want to provide some context and a little background that could be helpful. I am a mom of a 1-year-old and also help run another business with my partner. I only work when my son is sleeping, like right now, so I only work around 2 to 3 hours per day. A little work before he wakes up in the morning, and then a little bit more during nap time. So everything that I've built is from working 2 to 3 hours per day, and that is not to say that you can build a successful shop from barely working. I am highly efficient during those couple hours, and I do not miss a day. This is a 7 days a week kind of thing for me. But if you have more time, then you probably have more opportunity for quicker growth. Trust me, I find myself saying, I wish I started this before I started having kids, but that is all hindsight, and life is not going to get any less busy anytime soon. So the next best time to start is now. Second thing that I want to mention is the niche that I create in. So I create printable party stationery. So think things like invites, banners, signs, really any kind of printable party decor. I use Canva to create my designs, and then the customer can go in and customize them with their own party details, and then they can print it either at home or go have it printed at a print shop. I chose to sell digital products for 3 main reasons. 1 is that I do not want to hold inventory. 2 is that I needed flexibility. I did not want to do anything that required me to do something at a specific time. As a mom of a very unpredictable toddler, the phrase specific time is not in my vocabulary. If he doesn't go down for a nap when I want him to, then I'm not missing out on any deadlines. And 3 is that digital products can become relatively passive. It is not passive in the beginning, let me be loud and clear about that, but every product that you make can be sold over and over again without any additional work. So in theory, if I stopped creating new listings, my shop would still generate revenue from the products that I already have in it. And last thing before we get into the numbers, a quick honesty moment. I have tried several other side hustles before this. I've known about the selling Canva templates on Etsy business model for a while, but after trying and failing at several other side hustles, I had the same skepticism that a lot of other people have. It's too saturated, everyone makes it look so easy, it's probably not even possible. I told myself all of those things. But then finally I decided that if somebody else can do it, then so can I. But I had to actually commit and not just give it like a half-hearted attempt for a couple days or weeks. So I promised myself I was gonna give it 3 full months, and let me tell you, I am glad I did. So if this is something that you are thinking of doing, please promise me you will try it for 3 full months, all in, before deciding to quit. Okay? All right, let's get into the numbers. I'm going to share my screen so you can see all of the details month by month. We'll cover views, sales, listing, ad spend, and yes, profit. Because listen, I know revenue looks nice, but it doesn't pay the bills. Profit does. And one quick ask before we get into it, since I have started this YouTube channel, it has taken a little bit of time away from me creating new listings for my Etsy shop. And because of that, I'm probably not growing my Etsy shop as quickly as I possibly could, but I really see the value in putting this out here on YouTube. So if you enjoy this content and you want to see more like it, I would love it if you subscribed or gave it some love. So eventually it can hopefully become a little worthwhile for it taking a little bit of time from my Etsy shop. All right, let's hop into Etsy. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and open my first month on Etsy here, which is in January. And I actually posted my first listing on January 6th. Or January 5th, something like that. But after a couple months went by, I just started to consider January my first month, February my second month, just to make it simple in terms of being able to record all of this. So we are just gonna go ahead and do, I guess, January 4th is as early as it will let me. So all of January here. All right, so this is my first month. There's not a whole lot going on here. As you can see, I got 99 visits my entire first month, and there were some days with 0 visits. I think Etsy gives your shop a little bit of a boost in the beginning. That's why I was getting kind of these early views right here, and then it dropped off a little bit, even though I was listing more and more. So I was uploading at least probably 1 new listing every day the first month. It's hard for me to see my exact number of listings I created. Like Etsy doesn't record that for you, and I didn't really record it myself. I kind of wish I did now. But in that first month, I did post around 30 listings. As you can see, I got 0 orders. 0% conversion rate, and my revenue was $0. So this is that time when a lot of people want to quit, because 30 days, what for me at this point, it was like 26 days of doing this and working so hard on it every single day and not seeing a single sale can be very discouraging. However, this is kind of that time, and I feel like it's like this with any sort of thing you try to accomplish. Like in the beginning, you're super motivated and then you work really hard on it, you don't see the results, and all of a sudden your motivation tanks and then you just don't have any desire to keep going. But you got to be that person that pushes through that time of discouragement, and that's where you have to stop relying on the motivation and rely on the discipline. I know it sounds cliche, but it's totally true, and the fruits of your labor will pay off. So moving on to the second month. So we're going to go to February now. So February 1st to the 28th. All right, so February, I got some sales here, as you can see. So I had 368 total visits. It started to pick up a little bit at the end of the month here, and I got 5 orders. 5. I was so excited about this because I really went into this with the mindset that I wasn't gonna have any sales my first 3 months. That's what I was expecting. So I was hoping for the best, but expecting the worst. So when I got an order on February 9th, I was hyped. This was 34 days after opening my shop. So if I would have quit after month 1, I would have been 4 days away from building that initial traction. So then again, after that, I didn't see an order for several more days. I had another one on February 15th and another couple scattered throughout the rest of the month. So I ended up making $37.84 in month 2. I was feeling real good about this. I know you might think this is crazy because $37.84 is like not very much money. And if you saw the profit, you'd be like, what? Which we'll go over that later. But I was really happy about this because these first couple months, they're not about making bank. It's about building that traction for your shop, building that social proof so that people can see that people have bought from you before and that you're a legitimate shop. So really these whole first few months for me was all about building up that reputation and that social proof. Okay, moving on to March. So we will go March 1st through the 31st. All right, look, we are in the hundreds now here in terms of revenue. So in terms of visits, I had 959 visits. It does look like it stayed pretty consistent throughout the month. I had 38 orders. To go from 5 to 38, I don't know. I think that's pretty cool. 4% conversion rate, and then $266.21 in revenue. So it looks like I had a sale on most days. There were obviously a couple days where I didn't have any sales, but for the most part, I felt like I was on my way to daily sales. All right, moving on to April. So that would be month 4. Look at that. Okay, so I had 1,600 visits, so visits definitely picked up this month. Definitely spiked at the very end too. I think this is around where I started increasing my ad budget. In the first couple months, I did try spending like $1 per day a couple times just to see what it did. Looking back, I wouldn't have probably done that. But in April, I did start increasing my ad spend a little bit, I think. So I had 47 orders. So again, a good increase from the month before. 2.9% conversion rate, so my conversion rate did go down a little bit. I'm thinking that's probably because I didn't really have my ads optimized yet. And then my revenue was $409.79. So that is another good increase from the month before. So I was really starting to feel like I was onto something here. And then I do want to see, so on April 25th, I had 0 orders. And I think that is the last day that I've had 0 orders. I'm pretty sure every day since then, I have had at least 1 order per day. So moving on to May. Go May 1st through the 31st. Do you see that revenue number? Okay, so starting with visits, 3,300 visits. So visits definitely picked up a little bit here. Again, a lot of that probably has to do with my ad spend. 131 orders. So again, another big increase from the month before, 3.9% conversion rate. And then $1,175.98. So to cross that $1,000 mark, I was hype. Again, this is revenue, not profit. We'll go over that a little bit later. But yeah, so I did have orders every single day that month. So at this point, I can say that I'm making daily sales, which feels like a huge accomplishment. All right, moving on to the most recent month, which was June. So my 6th month, June 1st through June 30th. Are you ready for this? Look at that revenue number. Okay, so 8,300 visits, another big increase. 368 orders. This blows my mind. A 4.4% conversion rate, which I'm super happy with. And then $2,484.08 in revenue. And then looking through this revenue, so you can see that I have like a pretty solid like average. Like I was getting at least $50 per day. And then I would have some days where it would spike up a little bit. Any day that I had over $100, that became my threshold for like, oh yeah, this is a good day. So I had several of those days. Let's see, I had 1, 2, oh, that was so close. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 days over $100. And this day I had $209. Oh my gosh, I was dying this day. 209 felt like so much more than the kind of like $100 good days that I was having. I don't know why that happened exactly, but it did, and I was super grateful. As you can see, it went quite a bit back down the next day, but that's okay. I was still really happy about it. And in terms of the numbers of orders I was getting, so again, I'm averaging probably around like 10 orders per day, and it's starting to go up as the month went on. On that day that I had $209, I had 29 orders. My previous highest order day before that, I had 19. So this is 10 more orders than my highest day before that. So that was kind of just a little bit of an outlier, but it definitely gave me that motivation to keep going, because if I saw numbers like that every day, oh my gosh, that would be amazing. All right, so that was month 6. So that covers all of the months up to date. Today is July 2nd, I think. So the 7th month just started, but now I'm gonna go ahead and show you all of my profit, because like I said, I was spending money on ads, and then Etsy has their fees that they take. So all of these revenue numbers were not profit. I will say that with digital products, a bigger percentage of your revenue is profit compared to physical products or like print on demand, because you do keep most of it, depending of course on how much money you're spending on ads, but you do take home more of it with digital products versus physical for the most part. Okay, so opening up my monthly statements here, so starting with January, so this was my first month, I made negative $4.69, which totally makes sense, right? Because I had no sales, and then I had all of these listing fees and things like that. So that makes total sense. In February, when I did start to make sales, my revenue was negative $13.43 because I was listing like crazy. I had $17.50 worth of fees. And then it looks like I think this is around when I was trying like the $1 per day for ad spend. Moving on to March, I am in the positive now. So it was $120.50 of profit. And that is from the $266 of revenue that I had. So a little bit less than half of that was profit. Again, you can see that my ad spend is starting to go up a little bit. Moving into April. April was the month that I had $405 in sales. I think that number was a little different on the graph, but it was around the same. So $405 in sales. My total profit was $230. And then May, this is when I had my first $1,000 month. So $1,173 in revenue, and then $601 in profit. I know that this number seems a lot less than this number here, but honestly, I'm still so happy with it. My overall goal was to be making $1,000 per month in profit after 1 year of being on Etsy. So now looking ahead into month 6, which was June, look at that. I made my goal, my 1 year goal, by June, so by month 6. So my total revenue was $2,473, and then my profit was $1,077.20. So I crossed that $1,000 in a month threshold that I was aiming for, and I am so happy about that. I feel like I'm really building a business here, and that one day, mark my words, I will be out there competing with those big shops that have the hundreds of thousands of sales, okay? That is the goal. Okay, I just realized that as I was going through that, I didn't include my estimated number of listings per month because Etsy doesn't show you that, so I don't have the exact numbers. But just to give you some frame of reference, like I said, in that first month, I had around 30 listings. And then after that, I was listing anywhere between 1 to maybe 5 listings per day, at least 1 per day, no matter what. This last month has really slowed down a little bit. Still doing my 1 per day, but because I've been doing these YouTube videos, I've been doing some TikTok videos and stuff too, and I only work when my baby is sleeping, it has taken away from my Etsy shop a little bit. But all that to say, now I have over 360 listings, and I just wanted to put that out there. That way you have a reference to kind of compare to, even though you shouldn't really compare your shop to someone else's. It does kind of help to see the quantity of listings that someone has versus the sales that they're bringing in, because I do think that quantity is very important. Okay, so that is my 6 months on Etsy. Is it life-changing money? No, I'm not retiring from Etsy anytime soon. Is it highly motivating? Absolutely. And if you're watching this video, you're probably thinking of starting an Etsy shop, or maybe you just recently started one and you're wondering, is this actually going to work? Maybe you're in that first month where you're not seeing any sales. You're on that downfall of the motivation you had when you first started. Let me tell you this. If you don't see success right away, you are not going to find success by quitting. It's like trying to lose weight. If the scale doesn't budge after 1 week, you are not going to lose weight any faster by quitting your diet. Even if it feels like what you are doing isn't working yet, you are not going to get to where you want to be any faster by quitting. Your only shot to get to where you want to be is to keep going. Starting my Etsy shop has honestly changed my life, and not because of the money. There is something to be said about building something for yourself and having this project that grows and evolves that gives you a sense of accomplishment and purpose, especially as a new mom who has been fully immersed in baby life for the past year. And I know what you might be thinking, like, ugh, it took you 6 months to only be making $1,000 per month. But listen, do you know how fast 6 months goes by? I feel like I started my shop like last week. I cannot believe it has been 6 months already, and I am so grateful to my past self for starting when I did. Seriously, think about where you were 6 months ago. The time is going to pass anyways. You can look back 6 months ago wishing you had started then, or you can look back and be proud that you did. So do your future 6 months from self now a favor and start like today. All right, if that was helpful, I would love it for you to stick around for more content and tutorials and tips and all things Etsy and digital products and passive income. So make sure to subscribe and leave me a comment if you want to see more, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.